Everyone wants to get faster, and that challenge of getting faster is why many of us fall in love with this great sport in the first place. The thrill of sprinting for that town sign, racing to the top of the climb, smashing our local KOM, or just simply participating in a race. It's what creates that buzz. Getting faster is something that every cyclist craves, and while there's no magic bullet to do it for free, there are certainly some things you should avoid doing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 mistakes that could be killing your cycling gains, as well as a personal perspective from my pro racing days. Mistake number 1, focusing too much on weight. Cycling has this unhealthy obsession with weight. It is true that to a certain point, being lighter will make you faster, especially when going uphill. But there's also a point where being lighter will make you slower. Yes, that's correct. A key metric in cycling is watts per kilogram, and too many cyclists focus on the kilogram side of the equation. Chasing a lower number on the scale doesn't necessarily represent how fast you'll be on the bike. Look, there is a time and a place to lose weight, but there's also a point where you should focus on increasing your power. It doesn't help. The media reinforces that pros struggle with their body image, and then that can start to create a toxic environment, especially for younger riders. You'll often see headlines that riders have lost a couple of kilograms and now they're in the best form of their life. But it's easy to forget that these riders are part of a multi-million euro team and have help of the professional nutritionist. Everything is dialed in for them. They don't have to think about a thing. Mistake number 2, not knowing when to rest. Fitness gains actually don't happen when you're out in training, but when you have your feet up in front of the TV or sound asleep in bed. Not prioritizing your recovery is the most common mistake that we see amateur cyclists making. Not doing any recovery rides at all, or completing them at too high an intensity, are things that could be stunting your fitness gains. Take a look at the pros. When they train hard, it is super hard. But when it's time to rest, their rides are comically easy. A recovery ride should be equivalent of going for a gentle walk on the bike. You shouldn't be out of breath whatsoever. While building in regular recovery rides is important, scheduling periodic rest is even more essential. It's all well and good to train and train, but eventually it will come back to bite you. You can get away with it for so long, but riding the same thing every week and adding more load will stunt your gains. 3, not getting a bike fit. A bike fit won't necessarily make you faster by itself, but it will prevent injury and improve comfort, both of which are important when looking at the bigger picture. Having a bike fit is an investment in yourself and one that will pay itself back 10 times over. There's nothing more frustrating than being injured. Trust me. You may not realize that your saddle is too high, cleats are too far forward, or handlebars too slammed, as much as we like to get aero. The human body is very good at making small adjustments to counteract problems, and that isn't necessarily a good thing. Sitting incorrectly on the saddle could lead to your glutes to misfire, which both decreases your capability to produce power and also increases the likelihood that you'll pick up a frustrating injury or have to pay for physio treatment down the line. Think of a bike fit to be taking you and your bike for an MOT. You get to right any wrong and become aware of any potential problems before they cause further harm. Mistake number 4, focusing on other people. Focusing on other people's fitness levels is a one-way ticket to stressing yourself out and not improving. Cycling is such a mental game as much as it's physical, and focusing on other people can cause you to doubt yourself and ultimately make you plateau. Concentrating on your own strengths and doubling down on improving those weaknesses is where your training focus should be. Everyone improves at different rates or is at a different training and recovery cycle to you. If your friend is unusually better than you on one day, don't stress about it. One training ride doesn't reflect a full training block. With the likes of Strava, Swift, and all these other social platforms, it's never been easier to compare yourself to others. Instead of comparing yourself to your friends, take a step back and look at the difference between where you are currently and where you were 6 months ago. That is the only comparison you should be thinking about. When I was racing professionally, the biggest mistake that I made was getting caught up looking towards what's next and not celebrating my little wins. The thing with little wins is that they build momentum and they help keep things in perspective and present. This probably plays into another one of my mistakes, which was not believing in myself enough. Cycling is such a psychologically demanding sport and you have to be able to back yourself. From a training perspective, my biggest mistake was without a doubt not being confident enough to recognize when I needed to rest. We all get caught up in this mindset that more is better, but that's not always true. Look, there are times when pushing isn't smart. And sometimes you need to take that one step back and rest to be able to take those 2 steps forward. So what mistakes have you made on the way to getting fitter? Let us know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free.